Hey, this is Jason with another episode of Make Believe. We're doing another tutorial on makeup. We did one earlier with Paloma Fautley on how to do scar makeup, and this time we're going to show you how to make reptile skin and apply it and make it look as if you're really a reptilian creature. As if the skin's pulled away, kind of like from the old miniseries V or any other B movie.
Our first step is going to be to take some Sculpey. You can get this pretty much anywhere at a craft store, and we are going to make a mold to make these scales. So I'll go ahead and place this on. This is just some foam board. The good thing with this type of application is that you can just use it wet, so you can get right into starting to make the latex piece. Cool. So we're going to take, this is just another piece of the same foam that I've cut diamond shape into. We're just going to be pressing that in to make the pattern. Yeah, and definitely play around with the shapes on this foam here to get the, you know, just whatever you're looking for. Be creative with it. So now we're going to go ahead and apply the latex to this piece that we've just laid our pattern in.
And you're using the Nye Liquid Latex.
Yeah, the same from the last video. And you don't need much, just a little bit. So I'm just going to dip this sponge here into the latex and then just dab it onto the mold that we've just made. Take probably about 10 or 15 minutes to dry for the first layer, and then every layer that you do after that will take a little bit longer because it's just getting thicker, so it's more and more drying time. Just wait for it to completely dry. It'll dry to a darker tan color. Before removing this latex layer, we're going to go ahead and cover it in the silica powder to prevent it from sticking to itself. Okay, so we're just going to grab an edge and peel it back, and as we do that, we're going to be dusting some more silica powder.
And how many layers did we do for this?
This one took 6 layers, and that took me a couple of hours in terms of drying time. So I'm going to go ahead and paint it using some loose pigments here.
That's actually a powder.
Yeah, it's a really fine powder, and it picks up really well. We'll mix it with some water and then paint it on. So I'm just dabbing a little bit of water on the brush here because we want it to be wet, but we don't want it to be too runny.
So you've got your base color done now. What do we do to detail it?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to be adding some black to give it depth. You want to add it anywhere where there would be a natural darkness to this skin, anywhere there would be a shadow. Okay, so now we're going to add this yellow color and then a teal color. I'm going to add the yellow to the tips to help them pop out. And I'm going to add the teal to give it some interesting color. So we're going to go ahead and apply this with more liquid latex, just because it's going to make a good contact with the already done latex. Now I'm going to go ahead and blend the edges of this piece, so that way it kind of blends in nicely with the skin. So now we're going to go ahead and make muscles out of puffy paint. You can get this at any craft store, and it'll give it a nice dimension, and you can make them whatever shape or size that you want. So I've just grabbed a plastic bag here, just a sandwich bag. So I'm going to go ahead and start setting out a nice little line of puff paint. And you can be really messy with this because it looks really cool at the end. And just put some lines in between, get some gaps in there so you can see the details underneath. 4 hours of drying, and they'll just go ahead and peel up off of the base.
So it looks like it's dried now. It's been about 10 minutes.
Yeah, just so I'm going to take these muscles and I'm just going to kind of see how I like them on here. So we're just going to attach the muscles the same way that we attach the scales using liquid latex. This will be dry in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start applying the Scar Wax. The point of the Scar Wax and the Spirit Gum is to allow it to look like real skin is being pulled back. The latex can do that on small applications, but on a large scale, you really got to have something that will build up the volume. I'm applying the Spirit Gum right now, so that way we can go ahead and put the Scar Wax on top of that. It'll hold that Scar Wax nicely in place. The Spirit Gum can take a couple of minutes. In the last video, I used a brush to go ahead and roll along it to make it tacky, but I don't want to risk bringing up the latex, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it the long way and just wait for it to get tacky. Okay, so now that the Spirit Gum is nice and tacky, we're going to go ahead and add the Scar Wax. And we want to be really careful with this step to not let any of the other objects lift while we're doing this. We're adding the Scar Wax to allow it to really look like this is coming out of his skin. So we really want to make a nice blended edge and a really jagged edge on the inside. We can go ahead and start blending it. You can continue to use the spatula or just go ahead and use your fingers for this to get some more control. So we're going to use the Vaseline just like we did in the last video to add some kind of bloodiness to it. For this one, we're going to stick in the red and browns, mostly brown. Just going to go ahead and mix in the pigments to this Vaseline to give it a nice, good, deep color. So that looks pretty good. So now we'll go ahead and apply it to the muscles. They're a little bit like candy apple red right now, so we're going to want to give it that dark, realistic color. The final step will be to go ahead and color the scar wax to blend in with the skin and give it a nice, moderately bruised look. And just like I said in the last video, you don't want to be dragging along or you'll get lines in the scar wax. You want to really dab with the powder.
Well, I'm really impressed. This is a couple different new techniques that you taught us. The different puffy paint to make muscles, the ability to come up with a texture for a new type of skin. And some of our previous tutorial, we kind of brought that back using the scar wax, building it up. It's pretty impressive. Thanks a lot, Paloma. And from all of us here at Make Believe, see you next time.